Welcome to the Far East for the Psgl F1 Singapore Grand Prix, one of the commercial centres of the world, with a great racetrack running right through the heart of it. So here we are for round 9 of 11 races. We have a mini tour of the world to go. Singapore, Brazil, and then Abu Dhabi to finish season, and what has been some fantastic racing so far in this campaign. Your usual 18-minute qualifying session followed by 31 laps of what will be the most physically and mentally demanding race of the season. And in terms of Psgl, we have seen many races which have been decided on tyres and the weather. So here's a quick look at the track then. 5 kilometres, 23 corners of this track. We've been racing here in Formula 1 since 2008. 2 DRS zones, one on the main straight, one on the Raffles Boulevard between turns 5 and 7, where we will see the majority of the overtaking in tonight's race. And then the tyre compounds, well, expect to see very heavy use of the ultra softs and soft compounds if we get a dry race. However, the hype source may come into play if we get a wet start to the race. And now we're going to have a quick look at your current championship standings in Psgl F1 Season 21. And it is still Blizzard who leads the championship, but his lead was cut almost in half last week at Belgium. Now only a 12-point lead between himself and the reigning champion VSR Lewis, with the likes of Game of the Best and Big C's early challenges somewhat fading, making it highly unlikely they'll be able to catch up with Free Race Go. But CCBRAIN moving up to 4th in the standings thanks to his podium at Belgium last week. Michemery and Liquid Blocks continuing to impress in the middle of the top 10 with Abiodun and KB Killer. And then Ashbess will be looking to finally make a move from that 10th place, which he's occupied for some time, it has to be said, in the other McLaren. And in the Constructors' Championship, it is still a healthy advantage for Toro Rosso, with 3 rounds to go, including tonight, with a 20-point gap to Ferrari, who leap up to 2nd place thanks to their recent form. And then it's McLaren, Williams, whose Constructors' Championship campaign started off so promisingly, but it has really faded recently. Mercedes in 5th, Renault in 6th, with Red Bull and Force India in 7th and 8th, and then Sauber and Haas still contesting that wooden spoon position. But Liquid Block's good results for Sauber recently means they have now finally risen from the bottom of the standings. So just waiting for an invite to the lobby, and then we will be going very shortly in terms of the race. So a warm welcome to everybody who has joined the chat already. And I'll have a quick look, see who is here so far as we get ready for, well, it's a race which has really stirred a few feelings in some people. Some people, especially on the pad, not enjoying the temperature issues, which we'll certainly go back through very shortly. So is there any sign of a lobby being opened? Not at the moment. I wonder what's happening there. And apparently there may be some issues with PS servers, which is not good news for those of you who are wanting to get some racing action here tonight at Singapore. This could be a bit of an aborted start. Let's have a look at what is going on here. Just going to have a look for you guys. Well, according to this, well, there are reports of PlayStation Online being down, although their website says all services are running, so who knows what to believe. But that would be a real shame if we end up not having a race because of that. Yeah, really good timing from PSN. We'll have to see what happens. Well, thanks for the invite, Liquid, but I haven't actually received one. It has to be said, so there must be some issues going on. I have to restart my PS4, maybe. You get so G'd up for the intro and stuff, and then you get stuff like this. There it is. There's the invite. Very good. And I think there is a lobby forming, so I think it may just be dodgy PSN, or indeed it could be the dodgy game, indeed. We don't know what other games are going on. But I am finally in the lobby. We've got 15 drivers so far, so we're just waiting for a few more. So let's have a look who's in the chat. We've got the likes of Game Freaker, Aaron Collingwood, good to see you. Leon Bentley, aka CSR Leon, desperate for his first points in the championship tonight. And then we got Jack Tyler, who's going well in F5. Then we got Jay. Who else? We got Chulo, a very regular viewer. And I'm sure some other people will be joining later on. So we've gone through the tables, but let's go through some former winners of this particular race. Well, a three-time PSGL F1 champion in Iran has really made this track his own in recent years. And I've apparently got a strange sort of audio issue going on. I'm hearing echo for some reason. I think I may have forgotten to put myself into a party. Let's do that now so I don't disturb the drivers. That would be a bad mistake for that for sure. Not to sound like Nico Rosberg too much. So we have got 15 in the lobby. Whether this lobby will actually start, that's another question entirely. But we shall see. So as I mentioned, three-time champion Iran has made this track really his own over the years in PSG F1. He has won more races here than anyone else. 4 times a winner around the Marina-based circuit. But we have had some races here in recent times. QPR Beast taking up a superb victory here in season 18, and last season Cliffy with a superb strategic performance to take the checkered flag. But it did prove to be quite a turning point in the championship. Lewis gained a lot of points in Ash Best that evening, but now it's now reverse situation. Lewis having to try and get points off Blizzard to give himself hope of winning this championship and retaining the crown he won last season in season 20. There's a lot of quality on the grid. So just going to keep you updated with what's going on in the chat. Apparently some people are having issues joining. Hang on a sec. I'm going to just make a suggestion to those guys. Okay, well, it's a slightly more interrupted start to the stream. I do apologise for that. We're having some network issues, getting some people into the lobby. But hopefully that'll be resolved soon. So we've seen some great action in Singapore. In particular, the F6 race was absolutely brilliant on Saturday. If you haven't seen it, I know F6 isn't always the cleanest league, shall we say, but F6 race was a thrilling, probably the best race of the week so far in terms of the Singapore races, all the way to the end. Very thrilling action there in F6. And there was quite a turnaround in the F4 Championship last night, of course. Big swing in points between Hulkenberger and Mr. Grumpy. Thanks to Hulkenberger's brilliant victory last night. So we have 15 drivers in the lobby at the moment. So we're still waiting to see what happens. But as it stands, we have neither of the top two in the lobby, which I guess you could say would favour Blizzard if they were not to make this race, because that would mean, you know, less races for him to win the championship after that. But we'll have to see what happens. So those of you in the chat, what are your predictions? Assuming this we get the full lobby for the drivers available tonight, what are your predictions for pole position and the race victory? Will we see some rain? I would love to know. And if you've got any questions to ask, please put hashtag AskVenom and leave your question. We've got a bit of time anyway, so I can answer a few F1 or indeed any question you like. Go for it, and I will be happy to answer, assuming it's something I can answer, of course. But I will do my best for you, as usual. There's a lot of debate going on in the chat at the moment. Well, a few people seem to be leaving the lobby at the moment, so maybe they're going to attempt a second lobby. That's a good thing I didn't have to rush home for this. And Jack Tyler makes a bold prediction, a Blizzard win and a CCBRAIN victory. And good evening to you onto the podium, and Lewis Marshall. And also Cablo is in here, the resident Geordie. Probably not too pleased in terms of the Newcastle display at the weekend, stuffed by the West Ham. Not good. And Jack Tyler asks, the most improved across all leagues. Well, if we're talking in terms of drivers, wow. You know, from F7, I would say Giroux. You know, he's certainly there. Yourself, Jack Tyler, I would say. You know, definitely more clean, considered performances from you. I think CCBRAIN's been impressive in PS2 F1. I think we knew from last season that Blizzard was going to be up there. You know, he finished season 20 really strongly with his first ever win and podium, so I wouldn't say he counts as most improved. It wasn't really that surprising. Who else? In terms of this season, well, you know, Falcon, he came into his own last week at Belgium. You know, there's a lot of controversy around the Falcon punch, as it were, because he seems to be quite punchy on track at times. But you know, he won on track at Belgium last week, and if it wasn't for that penalty, he would have had his first win of the season. And in fact, I think his first PS4 F1 victory as well. So you know, Falcon could be one to watch next season. Michemery, again, I think he's very consistent. Leefindlay, he's been very entertaining in the on-track battles. He's been a great addition to the league in terms of that, although Belgium was a race to forget for him. He got caught up in that melee at El Rouge and Radion last week, which saw 6 cars retired from the race, which was absolutely incredible. And yeah, no, Chulo, I admit that is a good improvement. Rage quitting from 9 to 0. So, you know, it's always good to find improvement in every aspect of your gaming, especially when it comes to these motorsport games. And we got update from Race Control that there's going to be another update at 8:15. Gonna try and nope, no news yet. So at 8:15 we will get an update. Surprise win of this season. Wow, that is a question. I didn't get enough. I haven't seen enough of the races. I'm trying to think. Well, I mean, to a degree, your victory in FP when the race winner crashed out, that was quite a shock. Did not expect that. Looks like Ash Best has got into the lobby now, so that's good. And Blizzard as well. So if there's just a little break in this sort of up and down Pier 10 connection, we might get some action. 15 now. Abiodun joins as well, so this is good. It's looking a bit more positive at the moment. And yes, you're right, Lewis. It is going to be a long stream, but I don't mind as long as you got enthusiasm. To any commentator out there, enthusiasm is the most important word you can have. As long as you have that, you can't go wrong when it comes to this. It means you can deal with anything that comes your way, such as this. You know, disconnects, restarts, PSN going down, a tidal wave and the apocalypse. Whatever happens, you just have to keep talking and keep going. But I digress. So round 9 of the season here for Singapore. After this, we go to one very historic track and one very modern track. Round 10 will be Interlagos, the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is a great track for league racing, as is Abu Dhabi, admittedly. Onto the podium. Any updates, additions planned for the streams for next season? Well, wait and see, my friend. Wait and see. And good to see Dino in here as well. He predicts Ash Best to retire. Was shocking in FP. Well, I can't disagree with you on that. He had a pretty poor evening in that one, but this is not performance. This is equal cars, so maybe a different story for him. For a variety of reasons, Ash Best just hasn't really found his groove in this game so far. But admittedly, he didn't look exactly amazing in his first season PSF1, but we all know what happened in the season afterwards. He won the championship. So you know, if he can get motivated and get this kind of practice time he does and just get more of a groove for the game, especially as I think he's on no assists now, so he's still getting used to that, then there's no doubt Ash has the talent to sort of come very strong next season, even if the championship is well beyond him this season now. Surprise performance of the season. Well, I would say Leon, to be honest. I didn't, you know, he had impressive performances in F2 and or was it F3? Apologies if I mix it up. But, you know, he had a lot of promise going into this championship. But yeah, it's just not worked out for him. So I would say that is the most surprising thing. I really expected Leon to, you know, be a good competitor in the sort of low orders of the top 10 at the very least. He's had some bad luck. I mean, you know, Belgium, I think he really should have finished in the points. He kind of messed that up a little bit because, you know, he avoided all the carnage. You know, 6 retirements and you still don't get in the points. That's just horrific luck. So still got 15. So we'll have to see if we'll get a, because the thing is, most of the grid is in the lobby. We've got 15 drivers, so that is, you know, in terms of the majority, it is kind of enough to go. So hopefully it'll be a majority decision. And you know, I can't speak for the admins PSGL one because I'm sure they'll make the call they feel is the right one. But I think there would be a strong case for, you know, just going, you know, just trying to at least attempt to get a race going. But given that one of the title contenders is in the lobby, I kind of understand what their hesitance may be. But you know, we'll have to see. And no, yes, Leon, you completely right. You did a great job in the other league you were in last night. Well, I'm just gonna just so it's I'm just gonna replay the intro, but just muted, just to give you something on the screen. Just a reminder of the track. I'll obviously stop it as soon as the if the lobby gets going, but it's just to give you something on the screen. Otherwise, you're just staring at the admittedly beautiful skyline of Singapore. I'd love to go there one day. But we may as well discuss some of the elements of this race, and one of those is, of course, the fact that tyre temperatures have really played a role in this race, far more than any other race so far this season. Those on the wheel, they may be struggling with rear tyre temperatures. Those on the pad will be struggling with front temperatures. But with the superior turning circle of the wheel, they'll be able to handle that slightly better than those on the pad. So those on the pad, like a Blizzard, Lewis, they may be struggling a bit around this circuit. As we await to see what happens. Well, I appreciate the sentiment, Jack. Well, this is definitely a first. It's the first time I've had to play the intro twice in this stream. But yeah, it's just in the background at the moment, just to give you something. I replay it a few times as we wait. So we've got 15 drivers in the lobby. That is the majority of the field available. So we'll have to see what the admins decide to do. Let's see, who are we missing? Looks like JackLacey and Lewis are the two that are missing so far. For those of you who are late joining, you'll get a reminder of what the current championship positions are. So yeah, the tyre temperatures really caught a lot of people off guard, I have to admit, including myself. You know, I'd heard a few tidbits on the official Cody's forums about it, but I thought, well, it can't be that bad. But little did I know when I practice. I mean, to be fair, on the softs, you can kind of cope with it. I mean, on the hypers and ultra softs, it's a bit of a nightmare. They heat up very quickly indeed, even under the cool night conditions. But it's a very humid track, of course. Track temperature always high here, even at night. We're still in the lobby. I think we're about to find out what we're going to get. And it seems like the indication is we are going to start shortly. But we're going to have to keep going with this one. So feel free to ask some questions. Put hashtag AskVenom in the chat. It's just to fill the time as we wait for this lobby to load. Because almost running out of things to say here in terms of PSGL F1. So I'm going to talk a few Singapore stories in terms of the real sport. Of course, one of the elements of this track that a lot of fans and drivers, well, maybe not so much the drivers because it caused a lot of damage, it's the infamous Singapore sling, which caused a lot of carbon fiber damage, shall we say, in the early version of this track. We've been racing here since 2008 in the real sport, and it has favoured the high downforce cars over the years. Sebastian Vettel, in particular, having some great success here over the years. I think he's won here 4 times. Red Bull, and I think a few times for Ferrari as well. Yeah, he won here in 2015 for Ferrari. But Lewis Hamilton, the surprise winner the last 2 seasons in 2017. 2017 especially, because Ferrari and Red Bull were far quicker. But that huge crash in Turn 1 changed everything. And Lewis Hamilton, that was a real turning point of the season. It was this season as well, it has to be said. Lewis asks, F6 for me next season? No, because I would never race on Saturdays. I have, contrary to what someone like Josh would say, I do have a social life. So, you know, I go out at the weekend a lot. So there's no way I'd ever race Saturdays. Bring back the sling. Yeah, bring it on, Chulo. I'd love to see it back. I'd love to see the sling back. It would certainly add a bit of personality to the track. I mean, to be fair, the replacement's not too bad. It's a very flowing circuit. I do enjoy racing here. I definitely enjoy racing here. I mean, I had one of my best ever drives here in PSGL. In my very first season, I crashed in qualifying. So I think started 17th or 18th in F3, and then I got onto the podium. It was one of my best ever drives, I have to say. Jack asks, who's my prediction to move up to F1? Well, I think there's several candidates. I just need to remind myself of the names because I have watched a few of JP's broadcasts for F2. It has been a bit, shall we say, aggressive at times. Well, I think, you know, the likes of Francis, Lambo, I think they're definitely in the frame to move up. You know, I'd love to see Iran back in F1 as well because, you know, you need that experience and personality in F1 just to keep some of the younger lads in check. And Jack Tyler also asks that thoughts on Mr. Stim returning to the grid. Well, he'll probably stick around as long as Sophie does during a season, I suppose, unless he's winning every race. But that's just me. Yes, I know. I agree with you, Chulo. I did like that old format towards the Anderson Bridge, but you know, I still like the way the sort of the right hander for the replacement swings onto the bridge. It's still a very satisfying corner. I feel might even get a few overtaken opportunities into that hairpin. So yeah, apologies if I go silent. It was just because I'm typing. Yeah, the hairpin is it's a nasty corner. You can easily outbrake yourself and hit the back of another car. I always tend to back off before that corner if I'm following another car because there's no point being close because you know unless the other car's made a massive hash of the uh, of the bridge, you know, you may as well just back off for turn 13. Otherwise, you do risk wing damage. Well, we're still waiting, so very, very appreciative of your patience here. Onto the podium asks, do you think Leon deserves an F1 seat next season? Well, to be honest, it's been a bit Marcus Ericsson for him so far this season. So if we were judging it on the real sport, he would probably be under real threat from losing his seat in F1. So Leon's really got to start getting some results. But hey, if he suddenly starts getting results, who knows? He's got 3 races maybe to save his seat, but you know, he's quick enough for F1. It's just the races just haven't gone well for him at all. But you know, I'm definitely looking forward to my F7 race in Brazil. Check it out because it's a title decider. 2 points between myself and Giroud. It's been a great battle between us. He's got more pace than me, but you know, hopefully I can use strategy to sort of get the better of him. But you know, either way, I've really enjoyed my season F7. It's been nice to sort of feel a bit more pace in the game than I did in 2017. You know, the drives I had at Canada and Hungary were definitely 2 of my best ever PSGL drives for sure. Yeah, gonna mention that actually. Thanks, Grumpy. Well, hopefully we'll be going soon. I think a final decision is about to be made. Let's see who's actually missing. Yeah, it looks like Lewis and JackLacey are missing from the session, which in terms of Lewis would be a shame. Well, we're about to find out. It looks like some people are reading up, so it could be we're about to go with 15 drivers, but very unlucky for those who couldn't get into the lobby if we go. But I think personally, if the majority of the field are in the lobby, we have to go. I mean, the lobby might crash anyway straight away, but we may as well give it a go. Yeah, it looks like people are starting to ready up. So thanks for your patience, everybody who's watching. It looks like we're about to at least attempt to get a qualifying session going here in PS2 F1 at the Marina Bay circuit here in Singapore. Well, half the lobby's readied up anyway. They're just playing with my expectations now. Well, the lobby is starting to load up, and then it stopped again. I think people are just playing here. Because the trouble is, if the race is cancelled, I don't think there's a window to do another race before Christmas. Actually, looking at the schedule, because the next free Monday would be, unless of course they reschedule it later in the week, the next free Monday would be on the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, of course, and I don't think anyone's going to be wanting to race on that day. Well, I definitely wouldn't want to be streaming on Christmas Eve because I would probably be out, to be honest. Hey, it's a long stream already. We're already at 35 minutes, so this could be a record long stream. It's the PSGL equivalent of the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix. This might go 2 hours. But yeah, they're gonna have to make a decision soon. Best F1 season I've commentated for. Well, that's a good question actually onto the podium. I would probably say season 19. There were so many good races, and you know the way it ended. The way it ended, you know, that Japan race will always stick long in the memory for me because it was an incredible. It was definitely the best PSGL F1 wet race I've ever seen. It was an incredible race. And the two title contenders right to the death were fighting for the victory. And then for the championship to be decided level on points, you know, no points difference. The fact that Ash Best won more races than Cliffy being the only reason he won the championship was unprecedented. It was just an incredible occasion, and you know, in terms of at the time, in terms of views and viewers, it was also the biggest broadcast I've ever done for PSGL F1. So it was. I think that's the season 19. I think does stick out a lot. Season 18 had a lot of different race winners and a four-way title decider at Abu Dhabi. And it was great to see Jamie finally win a championship there because you know he come so close so many times in the past. And Jack Tyler asks, well, assuming you're asking about me, well, there's no question that you were there to commentate for it. My victory at Belgium in F1 2017, definitely my best PSGL victory out of the 6 I've got. Oh, we're still waiting. There's still 15 drivers in the lobby. So keep asking these questions. Yeah, I do remember that, Jack. Yeah, a great race with the experienced Mr. Grumpy. I mean, it was such a good battle as well. I mean, we were pushing each other so hard, even though we were teammates. Could have ended in disaster, but you know, we've raced with each other so many times. Absolute trust. It was just felt like a proper race. And Game Figure asks, will I follow the Formula E season? Yes, I will. I'm really looking forward to it. Actually, I think the grid seems a bit less amateurish. There's more, you know, proper racing drivers in it from proper series, so I think it will be much more competitive. I always felt like it was a bit too, I don't know, too sort of, you know, a few old XF1 drivers and then just whoever they picked up from the local go-kart track. But now they've got, you know, some former F1 drivers, they've got former DTM drivers, they've got former, you know, Indy drivers, Formula 2. So I just think it feels like a much more rounded series to me. Um, no, I'm not going to do that, Chulo, because if I do, Iran will sue me for copyright infringement. So I'm not going to risk that. I don't need a lawsuit on this channel, which actually on November 30th, a few days ago, reached its first year. And I've really enjoyed this sort of hobby, building this little channel up. Had some great streams, really good enjoyment. Hopefully many more to come in the future. And it looks like we are finally, The Rock is starting this stream. Yeah, I couldn't resist that, to be fair. But yeah, it looks like a few unlucky folks are not going to get into the lobby tonight, so that's really bad news for them. But we have 15 drivers still, so it's still plenty in terms of a race field. Let's hope the lobby holds and it's not as leaky as a Cold War Russian dam. Otherwise, this will not last too long whatsoever. So I think you're all sick of staring at the skyline of Singapore anyway. Let's see some actual animated F1 action in PSGL. And the good news is F2 appears to be going as well. Biggest rivalry in PSGL. Well, I'd have to say Hulk and Mr. Grumpy at the moment. You know, bit of back and forth banter after that Singapore race last night. Let's get some nice imagery of Singapore on the screen. It's not going to be like that, hopefully. It's going to be at night, the first night race of the season. Abu Dhabi technically being the second one, as it does become a night race in a couple of rounds' time to finish off the PSGL action in 2018. But it was ever popular last time, but I am looking in the future to do some more classic racing streams. The Senna Trophy was really popular, so hopefully I'll get to do some more. I was thinking of maybe a rush theme of that sort of thing. So here we go then. We're going to see some cars coming out on track at last. Will it be Ash Best as usual? Yes, indeed. First on the track. And onto the podium in his internet connection. And whoa, the safety car. It's having a party. My goodness, that was scary. Spazzing out massively there. That's not good. A few too many tequilas in the Singapore bars here pre-race. As we see the number 13 and the splendid orange helmet on Ash Best's car, former PSGL F1 champion. Going on the Hypersofts. Now, in terms of tyres we have here available, we saw the intro twice, but I'll just remind you, we have the Hypersofts, Ultrasofts, and the soft tyre compounds for a dry race. So, Hypersofts for Ash Best, I wonder if that's an indication that we could be getting a wet race. Let's see what the drivers are putting on so far onto the boots of their car. Hypersofts for quite a lot of the drivers fitted. Ultrasofts for Abiodun, and he's coming out straight away, as is Falcon. Most of the drivers coming out straight away. Only a couple of drivers actually staying in. So Blizzard has an opportunity then, with Lewis not able to get into lobby. I'm trying to think of the mathematics here. Could he win the championship today? No, he can't, even if he were to win the race. But if he were to win today, he could certainly have an opportunity to take the championship in Brazil. And according to Hammer Time, our resident F6 driver, it is a wet race in F2. And given the amount of drivers on Hypersofts, I'd say a wet race is a strong possibility for this one as well. So we watch Leefindlay going through turn 13 at the hairpin, having crossed the Anderson Bridge. Some very strange corner names of this track as we watch Ash Best heading out then onto his first flying lap. Let's get the telemetry and the timing screens up here. Ash Best going through turns 1, 2, and then heading up towards. Looks like a tiny kink was turn 4, then turn 5. Very easy to oversteer there. Oh, Ash Best having to go off the throttle just to get the car under control, and flying through the second DRS zone, then into turn 7. Tricky braking zone, don't want to go too wide, getting invalidation there if you run off the road. Then watching for the mark wall on the right hand side. Into turn 7 and turn 8, and then followed by turn 9. Another measure. Oh, and Ash Best with a hard whack of the wall. Did he get damaged because of that? Very lucky if he didn't. He's still pushing. Or is he? Yeah, he's still pushing. So here we go then, into turn 13, into the hairpin. For some reason I got double vision on screen. Oh, Ash Best. There's not much grip out there at the moment, but you wouldn't expect there to be right at the beginning of the section. But the evolution on this track is very dramatic. The times will really drop at the end of the session, assuming people get their lap times in properly. So here we go then. So Ash Best into the final sector underneath the bridge. Nice section called 18, 19, 20 and 21. Then through the DRS activation point. You just see the line there. And then Ash Best heading into the pits. So maybe a dummy. Anyone else out there? Leefindlay. Abiodun sets a 1:35.280. on the ultra-softs. That's a decent ultra-soft time for Abiodun. Just behind him is AMS. Puts it up into P2 on the hypersofts. And look at that, big C for 135, 196 on the hypersofts. I would say that AMS is sandbagging a little bit with that 136 time, and Falcon with a 135.041. So the man who won the race on track but unfortunately lost because of CCBRAIN with a 134.446 on the hypersofts. Well, that's a statement. The hypersofts really are a pure qualifying tyre. So if they're using a dry race, the hypersofts will go off pretty quickly. They will get track position. It is quite difficult to overtake at this track. Similar setups, so there won't be much difference in terms of straight line speed. And if you get caught behind a slower car for a few laps, you lose so much time, just as you would at most street circuits. Leefindlay then on a flying lap. This gives some screen time to the Mercedes driver as he heads through the beginning of sector 2. Now into turn 9. Very easy to understeer into the wall on the right hand side if you take a little bit too much speed there. So you usually have to go off throttle and then just angle the car and get back on the power. And then through what was the old Singapore sling, cross the Anderson Bridge, and then braking hard for the hairpin at turn 13. And then sort of a small back straight here, 13 to 14. I wonder if the F1 organisers in real life maybe half thought about putting another DRS zone there, but I guess because you haven't got any speed coming out turn 13, the hairpin wasn't really much point putting one there. So into the end of sector 2, and then into sector 3 we go then. Turn 18, again very easy to understeer into that corner to get your braking wrong. Through turn 19, what can Leefindlay do? He heads to the end of the lap for AMG Mercedes Petronas. Now he's got a line. No, he pits straight away. May have invalidated. I think he did cut a corner during that lap actually. I think it was just where the Singapore sling was, which he did. So only 7 drivers setting the time so far. What about Michemery? No, straight back into the pits, as is CSR Leon. So I think CCBRAIN's 134. I'd say that's a legitimate hypersoft time. CCBRAIN is on a wheel, of course, so he won't have the same temperature issues as the pad users will. There are a few here tonight. It looks like the reigning champion Lewis is in the chat. Very hard luck that you couldn't connect tonight. It's not your fault at all, but I guess from an admin point of view, because the majority did make it into the session, I guess they had in the end no choice but to think of the many over the few. But that is a real shame. It has taken away from the race just a little bit. Just over 10.5 minutes of the session here at the Marina Bay circuit. So we have a quick look at Game of the Best and Sambamkid. 2 Williams, both out on track. Both on their outlap. Sambamkid, has he adopted like a Yak Villeneuve style helmet? Just trying to see if he has. Looks like I can't. For a second I thought like I couldn't change camera angle. That would have been interesting. So Game of the Best, Sambamkid. It's Game of the Best. You know, he was a championship leader early in the season. It just hasn't really worked out for him for some time now. And, you know, you look at Williams' form, and McLaren for that matter. I mean, neither the McLaren or Williams team have scored combined 10 points since the British Grand Prix in round 3. And that just illustrates the struggles that they've had collectively in the Constructors' Championship and the Drivers' Championship. They had such strong starts to the season. It just hasn't worked out. We're going to carry on Game of the Best, see how he goes. Goes through the final corner. Until the start finish straight. The wing opens. We should see Sambamkid flashing around the final corner as well. We saw his lap. Yellows in sector 1 and sector 2. Only 6 drivers have set a time so far. And Falcon coming out onto the hypersofts. So just a reminder of the best tyres so far. Ultra softs for Falcon and Lickle Blocks and Abiodun, and then the rest of the top 6 who have set a time on ultra softs. But AMS clearly that is not a representative time. He's still in the pits, waiting to his second run. This Game of the Best carries on. There's got a bit of traffic ahead. I think that is the Haas of or is that a Renault of Leon. So Leon, of course, trying to desperately to get a second point of the season. Well, sorry, second point. What am I talking about? His first point of the season, I should say. In fact, that's a Mercedes head. I would say that's probably CCBRAIN. Just see if it is. think there will be a huge cheer from those watching if CCBRAIN gets the result he's after. It looks like Game of the Best has caught up to traffic a little bit. It was the Haas of MaxiLuca being particularly helpful out of that corner. Here comes Game of the Best then. The Hypersofts hasn't looked a particularly quick lap, so I think he might peel off into the pit lane. Or just getting a feel for the grip on the circuit and then going for an ultra soft run at the end of the race. Game of the Best is still going and backs off massively. Given there's only 8 minutes of session to go, so it's a very slow time for Game of the Best. Backing off then, just getting a feel for the circuit. Anyone in the ultra softs at the moment? So that's what I'm really interested in, because it's going to be a mix-up grid. And yes, Michemery is on the ultra softs. It's just a flying lap from Michemery. Yes, it is. So the benchmark time on the ultra softs is 1:35 flat by Falcon. Abiodun, the 1:34.211 on the Hypersofts. So the Force India driving heads to the top of the mountain for the time being. We'll go back to Michemery shortly. Through sector 2 rather he is. CCBRAIN is also in sector 2. About Falcon. Falcon is on the Hypersofts. He's just entering the first set of corners. Nickel blocks on the Hypersofts as well, just heading through the DRS. So we'll go back to Michemery, who's heading into sector 3. Red Bull looks absolutely splendid. And Big C, the 1:34.978. He has been pole position here several occasions in the past. Reports that the Sauber team charged their Lickel block as having some problems with DRS, but hopefully it'll be fixed in the pits so we can set up everything in time. Here comes Michemery then. What's this going to be on the ultra softs? It looks pretty good, and it's P4. So that's the fastest ultra soft time. First of the ultra runners to go into the 34s. Where is CCBRAIN? CCBRAIN end of the lap. CCBRAIN crosses the line, and it's 1:33.868. So he goes slightly quicker than Big C. So that's a really good time. He should have enough time to get back to the pits for one more run. Is there anyone else out there? What about Ash Best? Ash Best slowing down. Cherry2Pie on the ultra softs. Is this the start of a lap? Ooh. That's the start of a lap. Blizzard currently P11. Clearly he was getting a feel for the track earlier on. But he's done this before. A last ditch banzai lap. And what about Falcon? I think Falcon was actually heading to the end of a lap there. And Falcon, I think, has just gone up. Yeah, Falcon has just gone up to P3 for 1:34.065. I didn't select him in time. So Big C, CCBRAIN and Falcon, your current top 3. Abiodun, Michemery, Lickel Blocks, AMS, Leefindlay, Game of the Best, and MaxiLuca in P10. I think we can safely say that MaxiLuca's 2 minutes and 11 is not a representative time. But that wasn't the ultra soft, so he's wasted his ultra soft set, unfortunately. So Leefindlay returns to the pits for Mercedes, having a decent qualifying so far, P8. And that, I would say, is not 1:36.528 on the Hypers. I think that's clearly sandbagging, which, you know, sandbagging is something Mercedes would never do in the real sport. No, no, no. So Lickel Blocks then. Not sure if he's got a working DRS at last. This looks like in lap to me. Yep, 4 seconds in place. Michemery has retired. Well, he's done his work on the ultra soft, so no point risking anymore. That could be good enough to be the fastest ultra soft runner. Now, I'd say, given that ultra softs are being used, I would say that it's going to be a dry start to the race at least. I'd be stunned if it's a wet start to the race, because why use the ultra softs if it's going to be a wet start to the race? Well, hello to you, Flavsky. You'll have to explain why you're disappointed. So here's Leon on an outlap on the ultra softs, looking for his first points of the season. Of course, we don't have to remind him of that fact. we'll have to wait and see if it is raining in the race. I haven't received confirmation, nor do I want to know. I like to keep it a surprise, but again, I'd be very surprised if people are using ultra softs. If it's a wet start to the race, that would be surprising, because surely you'd want to save a set of ultra softs for the race. And I think we'll give Leon some TV time in a bit. So he'll be one of the first to go on his flying lap. Game of the best as we fought sandbagging on the hype soft. So he's going to do his lap in anger. You only get one shot at it in validation, and he will be starting outside the top 10. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, actually. Starting outside the top 10 free tyre choice. Really. Yeah. So here comes CSR Leon then. On the Hypersofts. Although apparently he's on the... No, he is on the Hypersofts. So it's not a graphical glitch. So through turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 for Leon. Desperate for any sort of result. Doesn't matter if it's a win, or second or fourth. A point will do for him. Oh, Leon understeering into the car as he already damaged his wing there. It looked like not the heaviest contact. So here we go then. Leon heading through sector 1. Oh, really struggling for understeer. Heading towards the middle part of sector 2 over the old Singapore thing. Oh, and CCBRAIN nearly collecting the wall on the left side. Did well to avoid that. He really understeered again towards the left hand side. Now Leon still going. Hasn't looked a particularly smooth lap from him so far. 26.9 for sector 2. Oh, I think he's invalidated. Ah, goodness me. Has he got the fuel to go again? We'll find out, but we're going to go on board Game of the Best on the Ultra Softs as the whole of the top 4 come out on outlaps. Game of the Best must have invalidated turn 1. There's no way this is a flying lap. He's only just gone through turn 13. MaxiLuca goes up into P4. So a great lap from MaxiLuca. So the top 5 all on the Hypersofts, pushing Michemery down to 6th, the highest Ultrasoft runner. Will Game of the Best have enough fuel to do another run? That's going to be the question. So CCBRAIN, Big C and Falcon will be competing for that pole position, you would think. MaxiLuca's not going to be going again. Abiodun, you know, an outsider. He's going to find a lot of time though to get pole position, nearly half a second. Let's have a look at Big C then. Been pole position here several times in the past. Yellows in sectors 1, 2 and 3. So here comes Big C. Well, how long is this broadcast already? It's nearly an hour already. We haven't even started the race. And yes, I'm not getting paid extra. So here comes Big C, heading towards the end of sector 1. 26.260 so far. Don't think he's invalidated so far because he's still putting the pedal to the metal at maximum speed. Big C back end complaining as he goes onto the throttle, but didn't lose him any time, I don't think. That's the beautiful orange and blue McLaren heads through the middle part of sector 2. And then here we go then through turn 10, 11, 12 across the Anderson Bridge. A great camera shot as he brakes for turn 13. And again, the back end complaining a little bit. Big C putting so much into the throttle. He's running low on fuel, so he's definitely not going to have the fuel to do a second run if he messes this one up. Liquid Blocks retires from the session. At best, P8. Now, where's CCBRAIN? CCBRAIN still going around. Falcon as well. So Big C will be the first of the top 3 to finish a lap. So we'll carry on with Big C. Big C heading through the final part of sector 3. Oh, he taps the wall a little bit. That might have cost him a tenth or 2. It's unbalanced the car a little bit into the following corner. Big C not giving a damn about it. He's going to try give everything can. Is this going to be a provisional pole? It's not. He lost time in sector 3 clearly with that contact on the wall. Now what about Falcon and CCBRAIN? CCBRAIN is just going through turn 13. What about Abiodun? And Leon's actually got up into P6, so he did have the fuel. So a really good lap from Leon in the end. Abiodun abandons his lap. So Falcon is going to be the next one. Can he knock Big C and CCBRAIN, or at least one of them off the front row, or take pole position, in fact? Here comes Falcon around the final corner. Kind of goes a bit deep into the final corner, and it's not an improvement either. So at the moment, CCBRAIN on course for what I believe would be his first ever pole position in PS2 F1. Blizzard could only manage P6, but it is on the ultra soft, so a really good lap from him, I think it was. Yes, so he has beaten Michemery, and look at that, CCBRAIN improves, and that is surely going to be good enough for the Mercedes driver's first pole position. It is Sir Good for the German. CCBRAIN, pole position here, under the lights at Singapore. Outstanding. So, a great lap from CCBRAIN to take pole position here at Singapore by over 0.3 of a second to 7-time champion Big C. Falcon in third, MaxiLuca in fourth, Abiodun in fifth. And then we have the Versa Ultra runners, the championship leader Blizzard in a good position in sixth. Leon in 7th, Michemery in 8th, AMS in 9th, and Littleblocks making up the top 10. Then outside the top 10, we have Cherry2Pie, Leefindlay, Game of the Best, Season 19 champion Ash Best, and Sambamkid making up the grid. So 14th and 15th, not setting a time whatsoever. So struggling really in qualifying. Well, this is a fascinating looking grid, quite different to what we've seen in recent races. Really wish likes of Lewis had got into this lobby. It's a real shame, but it is what it is. Whether it was a game or PSN, right, so we're going to wait for the lobby to load, and hopefully we'll be going off racing. Well, in terms of the setup, well, if it's a mixed race, it's going to be, in terms of the weather conditions, then setup could be pretty key, finding that right balance between, you know, the dry and wet conditions. I think we've seen wet race in we've seen at least a bit of rain every other PSGL race, I believe, and I think F2 continued that trend, so we shall see if we get any wet running tonight. I think that those on the pad will definitely be praying for a bit of rain, because if it's a fully dry race, they are going to be struggling throughout. So CCBRAIN pulls away then, leading a formation lap PSGL F1 for the first time. He had a really strong race here in FP nearly a week ago as well. Very powerful final stint on the Ultrasoft, so he knows what it takes here to get a good result. Now what would certainly spice things up is if we got some very early rain, because that would really be the saving of those Ultrasoft runners. And those outside the top 10, let's see what they're using. I would imagine a lot of them will be the softs. Yes, Cherry2Pie, Leefindlay, Game of the Best, and Sambamkid all using the soft tyre compound. They go a very long way into the race. Oh, Blizzard's left the session. Blizzard's left the session. He's disconnected. What's happened there? Hopefully he'll be able to retake control of his car. He did start. He started the grid. But he's had a disconnect. We'll have to see if he can rejoin. But there, that's a dramatic moment. So not only does one title contender not able to get into the lobby in the first place, the other one has disconnected. The Blizzard's rejoined. Hopefully he can retake control of his car, but we all know on this game how dodgy the reconnect system is in terms of retaking control of your car. It hasn't exactly been implemented well in this game, it has to be said. We'll find out shortly, but let's focus our attention then on the front of the grid. CCBRAIN alongside the most successful PSGL F1 racer in the history of the league, the 7-time champion Big C. Well, what's going to be going through the German's head? The man who provides so many of my graphics for the pre-race stuff you see every week. But he'll be looking for something much more today, and that will be a victory in PSGL F1. The first victory in PSGL F1 of his career. Let's see if Blizzard's been able to take control of his car. Michemery, well, disqualified. Might have to wait until the lights go out for Blizzard to retake control of his car. So here we go then. The grid forms up. So we get a nice onboard shot. CCBRAIN looking across. Seeing Big C in his mirrors. Here we go then. Sambamkid taking his place on the grid. We're about to go racing here at Singapore. And we get the 5 red lights, and here we are then. Big C versus CCBRAIN. Watch out for Falcon and MaxiLuca on row 2. And lights out. And away we go here. It looks like Blizzard's retaking control of his car, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but here comes CCBRAIN. Great start from Falcon. Up to P2 already. Big C didn't make a strong start, and that allows MaxiLuca to put pressure on him as well. So Falcon making a brilliant start from row 2. Did say watch out for him, and now he's going to try and put CCBRAIN under pressure, who gets a really awful exit out of turn 4, and he's going to be under real pressure from Falcon. Falcon, who won the race on track last week at Belgium, is now looking to get a victory legitimately as MaxiLuca and Big C go side by side, both of them running wide. Can Falcon dive down the inside? CCBRAIN, they go side by side. It's a dramatic start here, and look behind, MaxiLuca and Big C going side by side. And again, Falcon getting a run on CCBRAIN. What an absolutely incredible start we're having here. MaxiLuca's up to P3, he's past Big C on the run down to what was the Singapore Sling, and Falcon has taken the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix. Absolutely incredible action to start this race. If it's like this all the way, we're in for an absolute barnstorming affair here at the Marina Bay circuit. CCBRAIN down to second then. MaxiLuca up to third, so row 2 having a great start so far. Blizzard has clearly got back control of his car. He's in P6 where he started, right behind Michemery. So the Ultrasoft runners, they'll be biding their time, but they'll soon be able to make the move with much, better grip to come after a few laps here at Singapore. Big C already struggling, surprisingly, for traction on these tyres. But maybe there's rain later on. He's got a bit more of a wet setup going. Meanwhile, back at the front, CCBRAIN trying to get a run on Falcon out of the final corner, but not working out. Let's go right back behind. Anyone behind as we get a nice onboard shot from Michemery chasing down the McLaren of Big C. We'll have a look at the positions gained shortly. Let's have a look at Big C. Any damage? Big C might have an end plate missing on the left, perhaps, but I can't quite tell. But that would explain his lack of pace, it has to be said, early on here. The top 3 galloping away from the 7-time champion. Let's see what his braking's like. Yeah, really struggling to get the car slowed down. So yeah, I think Big C has got damage on the left side of the car. But we'll find out shortly. But he's already holding up the likes of Michemery, Big Blizzard, and Leon. Leon up to 7th. So a really strong start, and here comes Michemery. Big C having feeling to go defensive. Michemery's not going to get a move down there. But at least he's going to get a switchback. Through the sling they go. Well, that's a very unusual place to enough. Oh, and Michemery's been squeezed out by Big C, and into the wall he goes. Oh, no. And that's a virtual safety car straight away. So, oh, dear. Well, 2 don't really go into that corner, and that's the result of that. Michemery damaging his car, and he'll have to get back to the pits. He'll be hoping the virtual safety car lasts a little bit longer so he can get back to the pits and get that repaired. Ash Bess in 10th place. So let's have a quick overview of the positions gained. Falcon gaining 2 from the start. It was a sensational start from the Renault drive on lap 1. MaxiLuca picking up a place. CCBRAIN still running in P2. So the best starts. Ash Bess picking up 4 places from P14 to 10th. Michemery picking up a 5-second stop-go penalty for a collision with Leefindlay for some reason. Oh, what on earth's happening here? I think Michemery's left the set. Well, oh, was Michemery the host? What's he done? The race restarts, and oh, that could prove complete disaster for the lobby here. But Michemery clearly not happy with what's happened just now. As the top 3 goes on, well, hopefully it just migrates to a different host and we don't get any problems. But looks like Michemery was the host of the lobby. That's not good news. But the top 3, 2.5 ahead of Big C. Big C, well, in terms, yeah, he's definitely got damage. I mean, the fact that he was struggling through, turn 8 was a really strong indication. So Blizzard at the moment up to P5, Leon in P6, 1.6 seconds. Just got to keep going for the time being. Let's get the tyres back on. Leon on the Hypersofts at the moment. So here comes Blizzard, looking to, he's on the pad of course, so he's going to be handicapped slightly by the fact he's going to have tyre temp problems, but he is on the Ultrasoft, so he shouldn't feel those sort of problems for a few more laps at least. MaxiLuca getting very close to the back of CCBRAIN up ahead. So Big C trying to get the defence on. So here we go then. Blizzard trying to get a move done on Big C. We'll just switch our attention briefly to the battle for P2, and that is between CCBRAIN and MaxiLuca. But to be fair, Falcons has been unable to break away from these two. I wonder if that's an indication that the Hypersofts are already struggling. CCBRAIN chasing down. Let's have a look at Big C. He's not got as much downforce because that damaged wing, but actually does a brilliant job out of the final corner. CCBRAIN sets the fastest lap of the race. So he is finding some speed again and giving chase to Falcon. Ashbeth hits from that, and someone mentioned in the chat he's got damage, and that seems to be the case. So just having a look at the start with my rewind, and yeah, it was a brilliant lift-off from Falcon to take the lead, but he battled hard with CCBRAIN all the way. Abiodun right behind him then. Oh, contact between Abiodun and AMS. I'm surprised he didn't get any damage there, but he's going to go round the outside of AMS, and it's a great move from the Force India driver. It gets the car slowed down. I wonder if AMS has damaged himself. It's a very abrasive circuit, this one, so plenty of wing damage wouldn't surprise me at all. It's now a 3.3 second gap between P4 and P3. So let's have a look at the battle then for the lead. Falcon then under enormous pressure from CCBRAIN and MaxiLuca, two drivers who have much more experience of this league, and Falcon feeling like he has to go defensive. Hopefully MaxiLuca doesn't think about a lunge by. No, MaxiLuca from a few seasons ago would definitely have gone for a lunge there, but thinks better of it. But CCBRAIN putting Falcon under enormous pressure. Falcon's got a problem already. Is that damage? No, I think it might be overheating front tyres. I do believe CCBRAIN seems to be overawed by Falcon's aggressive attack of him on the first lap, but now a few laps later CCBRAIN looks like he's in the ascendancy once again. And CCBRAIN pits then. He's had enough of the Hypersofts already, so that's a quick change. And Big C pits then from P4. Blizzard will go on and give chase to the top two. Let's have a look at MaxiLuca then. Has he done a better job of keeping these Hypersofts fresh? It's going to be, oh, picks up a time penalty there of all places. Wow, that's an unusual place to get a penalty, it has to be said. So no sign of rain for the time being. Softs for everybody pitting, no surprise at all with that. MaxiLuca getting very close to the back of the Renault. And meanwhile, Blizzard and Liquor Block slowly closing the gap to these two. Let's get a nice view. MaxiLuca having a lot better traction out of turn 9, getting really close. Can he maybe think about a move into the hairpin, which would be audacious? As they go over the Anderson Bridge for the 5th time. He's not quite close enough. He had a little look, but no, he's nowhere near close enough to try and move like that. So CCBRAIN's come out in P10. He's come out behind Leon and Big C. So I can only assume CCBRAIN must have been held in the pits because he came in before Big C with a few seconds of a gap. He's somehow ended up behind the McLaren, which I don't really understand unless CCBRAIN had damage himself, because Big C I'm sure had damage too. Oh, Falcon hits the wall. Will he pit? No, MaxiLuca's going to pit. And look for the undercut. Look how much Blizzard has caught these two. Runs about a mile wide. Gaining a bit of an advantage there, has to be said. But MaxiLuca pits then from P2. So Blizzard then is going to launch a fallout attack on Falcon, who's clearly on very worn tyres now. Oh, and Falcon making a real meal of that corner. And that's going to give Blizzard half a chance, but he's going to be caught for a lap. Well, MaxiLuca looking for the undercut. I think some of these times might be wrong, to be honest, because oh, and look at that, Falcon going deep into turn 8. Will Blizzard get the better traction on the outside? No, he gets the switch back. Now he's going to get a run as we head towards the slingshot. Oh, they bang wheels. Look at this brilliant camera angle here as they head into it. Oh, no, he goes wide. Didn't have the tyres. Blizzard takes the lead. The Ultrasofts are the best tyres to be on right now in terms of this battle. No question about it. CCBRAIN, we just saw, has overtaken Big C for P9, and now he gives chase to CSR Leon. So in terms of the pit stops, Yeah, Leon's ended up ahead of both of them. I get the sense the time screens might be a bit messed up because I really don't understand how to. I mean, MaxiLuca has ended up quite a bit ahead of CCBRAIN as well. But Falcon, given the time he's lost on this lap, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up outside the points for the time being. You know, he's trying to stretch this stint a little bit, but it's hurting him really. The softs will go a long way in this race. Ash Best picks up a time penalty. It's been another race to forget for him so far. My goodness, look how slow Falcon's going for. He's got to pit, surely. No, he carries on. I can't believe he's carrying on. The amount of time he's losing, and Liquidblock's pits. Oh, there's a lot of surprising things going on here so far. Let's have a look at Big C. Currently in P10. Yellow's in Sector 3. So CCBRAIN then having a look to make a move on Leon. It's in DRS range. Gets the wing open. A lot of drivers struggling with the final corner. But yeah, Falcon staying out was a surprising move because he was, I mean, the speed he was taking through the final sector, he may as well have been in a GP3 car. That's how slow he was going. Abiodun picks up a 5-cent penalty and he has retired from the race in frustration. So our first retirement of the race, officially, not including Michemery, who disconnected with anger. But the lobby seems to be holding for the time being. Hopefully what you're seeing is actually what we are seeing. And it's not a massive deseing, which can happen sometimes. Now let's have a look at Game of the Best, because Game of the Best is right on the back of Falcon, who continues to struggle. Look how much time. He's lost 6 seconds to Blizzard in half a lap. Or I should say 4 seconds, because he was 2 seconds behind at the end of the lap. I do apologise. Slight exaggeration. But Game of the Best up to P2 then. And he is on the soft compound. Now, if we get rain at some point in the next 15 laps, Game of the Best is in the box seat. He's got a huge gap to his teammate in terms of the soft runners. Surely Falcon's going to... Ash Best picks up a 5-cent penalty for crossing the line, exiting the pits. And look at Falcon again, struggling through this corner. Is he going to carry on? No, he finally gives up. He's done 8 laps on the Hypersofts, but they're highly costed lap. He'll be well out of the top 10. He's got a lot of work, so he's going to have to find some speed. As Leefindlay goes through the final corner. This looks like our closest battle on track at the moment. Battle for P3. None of these drivers have pitted so far in the top 4. CCBRAIN chasing down Leon. Leon looking good at the moment, the way it's going for points. So let's cheer on. Let's cheer on him. And here comes Leefindlay looking to make a move P3. Sambam's going to defend the inside, but I think the Mercedes is going to be back there already. Will Sambam come back in him? No, there's no battle there at all. Comfortable move. So let's have a look at CCBRAIN. He's chasing down Leon, not close enough to make a move at the moment. Oh, wait a minute. What's happened to Big C? Big C getting his wing change and a set of Ultrasofts, so it's been a nightmare race for the McLaren team so far. Looks like Sambam's actually caught back up to Leefindlay a little bit through Sector 2. Indication he might be running a bit more downforce perhaps. So Blizzard, he'll have a few more laps to go on those Ultrasofts. No sign that he's overheated them just yet. Blizzard, one of the best pad drivers on the site, no question about that, given the form he's shown this season, looking for his 3rd win of the season. Those Ultras will soon go off. He'll be praying for rain, if there is any. As Leefindlay, I think, nearly touching the wall on the right-hand side, but getting away with it. So Sambamkid now out of DRS range. So I think our closest on-track battle will be the battle for P6 between CSR Leon, the Renault driver who raced for Sauber in the season, didn't get any points. Didn't score Belgium last week in his debut race for Renault, but he's in a position where point finish could be realistic. Will he fight CCBRAIN too hard? We shall see. Liquidblock's currently in P8. So let's have a look at the pit stops. So Liquidblock's must have pitted really early on because he's in P8. So in terms of the net lead, MaxiLuca's in the net lead at the moment. He's on the softs. But of course that's assuming the soft runners ahead of him have to pit. MaxiLuca is catching though. Sambamkid quite quickly. So there'll be a battle for P4, I think, soon. CCBRAIN unable to get a move done there. Any other battles going on? No, this is our closest battle for the time being, so we'll get a nice view of the Mercedes. The man who got pole position in brilliant fashion. But look how much time Falcon lost. He's on the softs now, but he's now ended up in P11. He stayed out far too long on those hyper softs. But maybe it's a full dry race, so maybe he has the view that he can get the softs to the end of the race. Because who knows? And Ash Best retires, so that's the end of his race. And well, that pretty much sums up Ash Best's season, it has to be said. Well, we may hear from Christian Horner, who may have a few words to say about that incident between Michemery and Big C. So Big C, in effect, is the last running car on track. Game of the Best now is closed in on Blizzard. Look at that. The gap in lap 7 was 4.3. Now it's 1.2. So Blizzard's Ultra Softs are clearly falling off a cliff now. Lickleblock setting the fast lap of the race at 1:39.316. So just going to carry on with this battle. MaxiLuca's passed Sambamkid for P4 up ahead. But then we will switch our attention to the battle between the Chinese Grand Prix race winner. Oh, CCBRAIN understeering in the dirty air of the car ahead, but gets away with it. Let's have a look immediately then at Game of the Best. Game of the Best closing in on Blizzard's Toro Rosso. Those Ultra Softs look done on the Toro Rosso driver. Probably wet, combination of wear and front temperature grip. Big C setting a 1:38.461. He's past Cherry2Pie in the pit, so could be some chance for points still for Big C. But I think he's going to need maybe the intervention of a safety car. So it's very much possible we could see a safety car here, given the nature of the barriers here at the Marina based circuit. So I have to say, looking back at that start, that was incredible racing. They were, so close to having an incident, but CCBRAIN and Falcon in particular, that was fantastic. Just an incredibly dramatic start to the race. The rest of the race hasn't really lived up to that so far, but we've got a long way to go. We're only on lap 10 of what is the most grueling race in Blizzard. Look at that, just no traction available. And I think Game of the Best is going to slip by, and I don't think Blizzard's going to fight this too much. I think he knows, in terms of the long game, it's just going to cost him more time fighting this. Let's have a look at Leon. Leon now looking to make a move into the penultimate corner, and that will push Sambam off the track, and that will make him pretty much a sitting duck towards CCBRAIN. But CCBRAIN, is he going to try and pass both of them in one corner? No, he's not. So Sambamkid losing 2 places. He's done 10 laps on those tyres. Meanwhile, back at the front, Blizzard getting very close to the back. Game of the Best still. And MaxiLuca closing in on Leefindlay. So it's all happening. Will MaxiLuca go for a move down the other side? No, Lee will defend it. We'll go straight to CCBRAIN. CCBRAIN will go to attack. And meanwhile behind, Lickleblock round the outside of Sambamkid. He did go off the track slightly, but I think he did have the move done anyway. And MaxiLuca now getting a better run out turn 9, so they're going to go side by side. MaxiLuca's going to have the outside. He's gone miles off the track. He's going to try and come back at him. He's definitely cut a corner there. So Leefindlay, we have seen how good his robust defending has been in Psgl, but he goes mighty deep into the hairpin. And MaxiLuca says, thank you very much. So Roman Maxi continues on, and he's in P3, looking good for a podium now. And now Leon and CCBRAIN rapidly catching up to Leefindlay ahead. Leefindlay's done much more laps on those soft tyres. So this is a nice little scrap developing here. So it's a Mercedes sandwich with Leon in the middle. So we're going to just pause for breath here. Here we go. I think we're going to see some more action here. How does Findlay deal with the final corner? Does a decent enough job. Is he going to be able to defend it? Watch out for CCBRAIN. Might make a move. Late defensive move from Leefindlay. Will that unbalance Leon? Leon just needs to take his time here. Doesn't want to break his wing on the front of that Mercedes. He's under enormous pressure. He's in a real fight for points here. Goes really deep into front. Lickleblock gets another cheap time penalty. Similar place to MaxiLuca got it not too long ago. But we get a great view in CCBRAIN. Side by side goes goes Leon and Finian, and down the inside, Liquorblock sneaking down the inside of CCBRAIN. I think CCBRAIN was concentrating so much on the battle ahead, he didn't see Liquorblock sneaking down the inside. That was great. And look at Liquorblock going down the inside of Leon. Absolutely brilliant overtaking from Liquorblock. The Sauber on the move, catching the Mercedes, CCBRAIN and Leon napping. Now can Liquorblock complete the set and take 3 drivers in a single lap? Well, here comes Liquorblock. Is he going to shape up for a late move down the inside? He's going to go for a move around the outside. Oh, it's always dangerous because you might get squeezed to the wall, but to be fair to Leefindlay, he gave just enough room. Here comes Leon just behind as well. This 4-car battle is lighting up this Grand Prix, and Liquor round the outside, and he takes Leefindlay, who to be fair didn't have much tyres there, but Liquorblock has gone from P7 to P4 in a lap. That's probably the best lap I've seen from Liquorblock in Psgl F1. Absolutely stunning stuff from the Sauber driver. And still, Leefindlay is holding up Leon and CCBRAIN. But absolutely brilliant racing. Here comes Leon again. Must be getting a bit frustrated. Leon getting the switchback. He'll get the dive onto turn 3. Can he get it done? No, they're still going to go side by side. And now Leon's going to be vulnerable. CCBRAIN behind. Leefindlay struggling for grip now. I mean, Liquorblock's already 1.5 seconds ahead down the road. And here comes Leon once again. CCBRAIN going to try and take both of them down the inside. And he doesn't. Around the outside then goes Leon, trying to squeeze past Findlay. Will he finally get the move done? Yes, he does. Leon up to P4. Leefindlay lets his teammate through immediately. So that's good teamwork from the Mercedes drivers. I think Leefindlay got a lead. This is James. Kind of message from Hockenheim, and immediately let his teammate through. But the big winner from that is Liquorblock, who's now in the hunt for his 3rd podium of the season. Blizzard has pitted then for softs, and he is P10 for the time being, 7.4 seconds off Falcon. So the big question now is, what now? Will we get some rain? Because if we get rain, Blizzard is going to be absolutely nowhere in terms of track position. But we do know how good Blizzard is in the wet. And the wet is much kinder for the pad users. Now let's switch our attention then to AMS in the Ferrari. We haven't seen much of him in this race. Blizzard picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help his cause. Going to have a quick look at CC. Actually, no, I'm going to stick with this battle. We've seen a lot of the Mercedes and Renault recently. AMS then. It's got much fresher tyres than Sambamkid. Leefindlay pits then after 12 laps. Only 12 laps on the softs. Here comes AMS then, looking to make a move down the inside of the Williams, and it's a fairly comfortable move, although he runs a mile wide, and that's a warning, I guarantee you, that the Ferrari driver, the sole Ferrari driver, picked up. And Sambamkid then is going to try and defend from Falcon behind, but this will probably be a no contest. Very fresh tyres for Falcon. We may look back on this race later on, and staying on those hypers a little bit too long might have cost him a podium, because looking so good early on the race, and it's a simple move around the outside into P7. CCBRAIN still stuck behind Leon. Leon is looking really good for points at the moment. Really good for points. I mean, I hope that's not famous last words for myself, but he's had a fabulous race so far. No sign of rain yet. It's always hard to tell at Singapore because, of course, it's a black sky, so you can't really see the clouds or anything. So the race has kind of calmed down for the time being. So we're going to go back to the battle for P4. Leon has done a sterling job of holding back CCBRAIN. So game of the best with an 18.6 second advantage at the moment to MaxiLuca. No rain at the moment. From a strategic point of view, Game of the Best doing a fab job so far out in front for Williams. What Williams would do for a car in this position in real life, I doubt it's going to happen anytime soon, but you never know what happens over the winter. So CCBRAIN then chasing Leon once again, still unable to get past. And it looks like there's a battle developing for P6 as well between the Ferrari of AMS and Falcon. So we'll have a look at that soon. CCBRAIN just doesn't seem to have the straight line speed to get past the Renault. We've seen that lap after lap. I'm definitely going to clip that sequence where Lickleblock overtook all 3 drivers, because that was probably one of my favourite sequences of the season. That was so fun to watch. Top stuff there. So meanwhile behind, let's have a look at, yeah, here we go then. Falcon with incredible straight line speed, and the DRS of course, and gets the car breaking down, and that is a textbook manoeuvre. Kept the car, all four wheels had not gone off the track, so that is a legitimate move. So AMS down to P7, but he'll be relatively happy with that. Big C pitting again. It's not been a good race for him. Comes out in P12, so I think it's safe to say, barring a minor, well, not a minor miracle, a major miracle, he's not going to be winning this race here today. It's a game of the best. 14 laps then on those softs. He's coped with them much better than his teammate, who seemed to be dropping further down the order. And actually, speaking of that, let's have a look at Blizzard. Blizzard right behind Sambamkid. It's forced Sambamkid to go really deep, and I think Blizzard will have the superior traction. Hits the wall slightly, actually, but gets the move done. Sambamkid gets a 3-second time penalty to the boot. Leefindlay on the Ultras, 20 seconds behind. Undercut very strong here. So Blizzard, 4.8 seconds behind. Much fresher tyres, but not really in position at the moment. He'll be hoping that it's a fully dry race at this point, because in terms of strategy, he's not really anywhere at the moment. But if everyone else, if the likes of Gamer and Maxi pit, you know, that will gain him a few places. So let's have a look at CCBRAIN. Can he attempt to get past Leon? He's done the same amount of laps here. And a very frustrated reigning champion on the pit wall, watching on. Would have felt like without that transmission failure that affected his Ferrari, he could have been in the fight for this victory. But as it is, he has to sit out this one and think on what might have been. But I think he'll agree it's been an entertaining watch, even if he wishes he was out there. So CCBRAIN still in P5. He'll be slightly frustrated, won't he? Got pole position. I think he must have got held in the pits by loads of other cars coming in, because he lost places that he really shouldn't have lost if it had been a clean pit stop. Or maybe a glitch held him or something like that. And he's been stuck behind this Renault for so many laps now. And these two are actually beginning to catch back up to Lickleblock actually. So Battle for third, maybe back on. It's a 20-second gap for Game of the Best. Now pit stop here is around 28 seconds, give or take. And then maybe an extra half second, because the exit is a much tighter corner and slower than the normal turn 1. Game of the Best, despite the fact he's been on those tight 6 laps, seems to be still pulling away. So his race pace has been great. I mean, we haven't seen this in quite some time from Game of the Best. But yeah, CCBRAIN not really close enough, and it's almost like he's backing off a bit. Sambamkid pits then finally on lap 17. He'll be well down the order after that. Might still be in the fight for a point though, given the problems that Cherry2Pie and Big C have had in this race so far. So Blizzard is eating into AMS's advantage in the battle for P7. Falcon is not catching these two as quickly as I thought they would, because Leon is clearly lapping a bit slower than Brain. All I have noticed though is slowly but surely they are closing on MaxiLuca. So the way it's gone, the way this race has gone so far, if there's rain shortly, then Let's Game with the Best really bottles it, then it's going to be a very easy win for him. His second win of the season in Psgl F1. Which I don't think would be enough to revive a title challenge at this late stage, because you just didn't get enough points. As Falcon continues his frustrated pursuit of the Renault ahead. They're now almost within DRS range of Lickleblock, so this could be an opportunity for Leon and CCBRAIN to get a bit of payback on Lickle, who really snuck a couple of excellent overtakes on him early on in the race when they were caught up behind Leefindlay. Now Leon's in DRS range. Will he be able to get close to the Sauber ahead? The wing opens. It's definitely closing. Well, to answer a question from Frizzo, as soon as I get the championship table up, of course. Blizzard is leading the championship at the moment on 81 points, 69 points for Lewis. So Blizzard will be gaining 3 points on him. So he'll have a 15-point lead with 2 rounds to go, which would open the door for him to seal the championship next week. So this battle for third, I think, is about to spice up. Game of the Best now has a 21-second advantage. Now, if this is a fully dry race, which it could well be, then Game of the Best is going to have to pit at some point. I would say that would be for the Ultra Softs at some point. And he will be mightily quick, but he'll have some overtaking to do, because the way the gap is at the moment, he will fall right behind this group of 3 cars. Assuming they're not pitting again. I think he'll fall between CCBRAIN and Falcon, as it stands, as Liquor Blocks goes miles wide out turn 1. As we get a nice shot of Leon going into the opening section of corners. Now, the softs do last a long time. So I'd imagine these guys are going to try and eke out these tyres to the end. So they don't want to take too much life out of them, because they might be struggling in the closing laps. So Leon, closer than ever. Leon has not had a better opportunity to get points than he has right now. Blizzard then, right on the back of AMS. So Blizzard looking to get more points in the championship. This would be 4 points for him. Here comes Blizzard. He has got a time penalty, of course, but down the inside he goes. Oh, a bit of wheel banging. Oh, can AMS come back at him? Down the inside, actually. In fact, he does. It was a really poor exit out of that corner by Blizzard, and he's lost the place again. So can Blizzard come back at AMS? Still, this race goes on. We're only on lap 19. I think this is going to be by far the longest broadcast I've ever done, and I might have to get a bit quieter soon, because folks may be sleeping soon at this rate. So here comes Blizzard then, trying to put the pressure on AMS. He'll be slightly disappointed with himself he didn't get that move done. It looked all for the well that overtake was done for P7. And now he's stuck again. So we're just going to have a quick look once again. Oh, I think, Liquor Blocks has hit the wall. We just saw the bit of carbon fibre, and that means Liquor Blocks has got damage. Liquor Blocks has got damage, and he's not going to have a prayer of defending this position. You would think he'll have no downforce. He's going to try and dive it back down the inside, but the Leon is up to P3. Oh my goodness, the crowd go wild. They've been waiting for this, the breakout performance from Leon. We've been waiting for this all season. All season. 8 nightmarish rounds for Leon. But now he's 11 laps away from a podium, and now Lickle's going to try and defend P4, but CCBRAIN's going to have better grip. Oh, there's contact between the two, and somehow CCBRAIN kept it slowed down. He's going to dive down the inside. He's going to have better. Oh, and he's... Oh, no. Oh, dear. There wasn't enough room, but really, with that wing damage, Liquor Blocks really shouldn't be fighting that, to be honest. He had wing damage. He really should have given it up. Falcon's going to move past him as well. Yeah, Lickle's not going to fight that. Blizzard has passed AMS for P7 finally. Sambamkid's actually right behind Cherry2Pie, so Sambamkid's spent most of this race being overtaken, so let's give him some footage of him overtaking a car. I think that would be something he'd appreciate. On the Ultra Softs he goes then. Can he get past? Cherry2Pie goes really deep into the corner but gets to slow down. Look at the traction Sambamkid had on those Ultras. And oh no, he's gone so deep, and that's Sambamkid really tempted him into those mistakes, and up to P10 into the points goes Sambam. Blizzard passes Lickle then, AMS as well. Lickle will return to the pits then. He gave us some great entertainment on the race, but it's really not worked out for him. But all that has allowed AMS to close back. Onto Blizzard. Lickle Box will surely be pitting. Yes, he will. He's got a big gap to Leefindlay, and he'll be able to go on the Ultras to the end, so may still have a chance at P9, or P8 rather. Leefindlay will definitely get past him. So he'll have to push. So let's have a quick look then at CCBRAIN. He's dropping back a little bit from Leon. So, game with the best is going to have to start thinking. About a pit stop, isn't he? I mean, there's no sign of rain at the moment. He's the only driver who hasn't pitted. Big C is retired from the race. He's had enough. So that's 4 retirements from the 15 who started. A nightmarish race for the 7-time champion. I mean, he starts on the front row and it's just been a real shame for him. Seems to be really close between Cherry2Pie and Liquor Blocks. Look at this DRS for Cherry2Pie. He's got crazy straight line speed. They're going to go side by side, nearly going side by side into the end of sector 1, but they didn't in the end. Sambamkid just down the road. So Liquor Blocks going to have to try and get past Sambamkid and then try and hope that Leefindlay's tyres go off to get P8. That's going to be the best he's going to get today. So we'll keep an eye on that. Might be a battle brewing for P9 very shortly. So Leon just got to keep going. So they've done 17 laps, these two drivers. Will they get to the end of... Well, what's happened there? Something's happened between Liquor Blocks and Sambamkid. Surely Liquor Blocks hasn't got damage again. Nope. No, as you were. But I'm going to keep an eye on that one. That could be something to watch. So Blizzard up to P6. .3 seconds behind Falcon. Game of the best is starting to lose a bit of time. Okay, let's watch this battle between Sambam. Sambam's been squeezed past. Cherry2Pie gets back past. Well, I think Liquor Blocks has basically shoved him out of the way by the looks of it. Yeah, Sambamkid's got damage, or maybe he crashed himself. So Sambam out of the points, I think. So Cherry2Pie on for his first point since returning to Psgl F1, as it stands. Good reward for sticking it out. My goodness, this has been a long race, hasn't it? We are definitely going to hit the 2-hour mark, I think, on this one. Well, maybe just short, actually. Game of the best. Still hasn't pitted. And that's the question, really. Lap 23. Still keeps going. It's on 22 laps. And someone's just joined the lobby. Don't know who that is. It's not going to have any effect on the proceedings. And he quickly decides he doesn't want to watch the closing laps of Singapore, but it's very intriguing now. Game of the best has got to pit soon because he needs to pit to give him enough time because he's going to be behind at least 4 cars. I think he'll still slot in. Well, in fact, the time he's losing, he could actually be in danger of dropping behind Falcon. We know that Falcon is a very aggressive defender. Leefindlay picks up a time penalty. I mean, Leefindlay's going to struggle to get to the end, to be honest, because he's such a long lap, so abrasive on the tyres they are. In terms of the fastest lap of the race, fastest lap of the race is a 1:37.916 from Leefindlay at the moment, and just as I say that, Liquor Blocks a 1:36.994 for the first lap into the 36s. I'd imagine Game of the Best will absolutely obliterate that if he ever pits. So this battle for P3 continues. CCBRAIN's been staring at the back of that Renault for what feels like the entire race. At least it's felt like that anyway. Early on, Liquor Blocks got past both of them, but in the end, Liquor Blocks made a mistake, lost his wing, and this is now the battle for the final podium position. Might be the battle for P2. So MaxiLuca and Game of the Best pits. Finally, Game of the Best pits, and what is it for? The Ultra Softs. MaxiLuca will get past him. So MaxiLuca will get past him, but what about Leon and CCBRAIN? Where's Game of the Best? Game of the Best is going to be P4. So for Game of the Best to win this race, He's got to pass 3 cars in the final 7 laps of this race. As Belissa picks up a 3-second time penalty. With 6-second penalties, I think P5 will be beyond him. So this is going to be a dramatic finale. MaxiLuca has got quite a lot of penalties anyway, so realistically, Brain and Leon are game of the best competition to win this race. But catching his 2 steps tyre softer. Game of the best will be able to push all the way to the end. Yellows in sector 1. CCBRAIN, he doesn't realise it, but he's about to be attacked by a rampaging Williams driven by one of the best drivers in Psgl F1, game of the best. This is all the battle we're going to need. Littlebox has fallen to 10th. I think he's had an incident in sector 1. That's what those yellows were for. Game of the best. This is surely going to be a no contest. The only chance CCBRAIN has is to use the DRS. Yellows in sector 1 and 2. Look at the traction game of the best has. This has been a masterstroke of a strategy. But you still got to get the moves done, because all it takes is a mistake, losing a bit of wing, and that's game over. Game of the best. Game of the best. Surely he doesn't really want to go for a move there. He just has to wait for the DRS zone coming up here. Raffles Boulevard. One of the more bizarre names for a Formula 1 section. But I don't think it's going to be a surprise in this raffle, because I think Game of the Best is going to slingshot his way. Oh my goodness, CCBRAIN defending aggressively. Oh my goodness, I thought Game of the Best was about to hit the wall there. Game of the Best did very well to avoid that. It's a robust defending from CCBRAIN. Great stuff. Just about on the verge of legality. Lap 25 then of this Singapore Grand Prix. So thank you very much for sticking around. We've had a really late start to this one, but we've seen some fabulous action, and it looks like we're not going to get any rain here. Incredible. Here we go then. CCBRAIN trying to get onto the power. Game of the Best, biding his time. Tyres are up to temperature now, that's for sure. But it is difficult to pass here, especially when a car has the toe for DRS ahead. But Leon is on for points. What would be his best result of the season by a mile. His first points of the season. Game of the Best, surely not going to go for a move here. Oh, he thought about it, you know. Game of the Best has got to bide his time. Just needs to be patient. He's won so many races in F2. He's won races at this level as well. Oh, Nickelblock's retired from the race. Disqualified. Game of the Best switching the bias mid-corner, and here we go then. Game of the Best is going to make a move, and this is going to be no contest. Into third position goes Game of the Best, lap 26, and now he will take chase of CSR Leon. And given MaxiLuca's penalties, this is effectively the battle for the lead. They're actually catching MaxiLuca as well, has to be said. Game of the Best has enough laps to win this race. Apparently an engine failure for Nickelblocks. The Game of the Best started the season with a podium in Australia. He then won the Chinese Grand Prix in round 2. Then since then it's been an absolute nightmare. And here we go, better traction. Leon, will he defend it? Oh, he will. He's going to try and fight on the outside. But look at the traction Game of the Best has through the slingshot section over the Anderton Bridge. And he is back up into P2. And now he will chase down the Haas of MaxiLuca in these closing laps. Can CCBRAIN use this as an opportunity to get past Leon? It's been an absolutely outstanding drive from Leon so far. Let us know who your driver of the day is so far. I think there's several candidates, but I think this man we're on board now, the Williams driver, in terms of the strategy, in terms of his racecraft, it's been absolutely exceptional. Did such a long stint on those softs from the start of the race with the heavy fuel load, which makes it so much more difficult than it is being on the softs in the second part of the race when you have less fuel and less weight to deal with. He's taken a second out Maxi already, and I think this is the lap where Game of the Best will smash the fastest lap of the race. CCBRAIN picks up a time penalty, so Leon is now very much on for a podium here at Singapore. Lap 27 then. 5 to go. Goodness me, what a long race it's been. Even I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit because it's been so much talking here today, but it's been a great race. I think you'll agree with that. 1.3 then, the gap between MaxiLuca and Game of the Best. Game of the Best, he'll be treating that Haas very cautiously because MaxiLuca, as we've seen in the past, can be a bit of a bucking bronco when it comes to his defending. So let's enjoy some onboard action then as Game of the Best closes in onto the Haas, who looks absolutely helpless. 21 lap old softs versus 3 lap old ultra softs. I mean, talk about a handicap as Maxi goes slightly deep at the end of sector 2. Game of the Best just has to bide his time. Doesn't have to go for any move at this point. Doesn't really need to get too close either. Or MaxiLuca, see what he doesn't want to do. MaxiLuca could spin the car and takes Gamer with him. That's what Gamer will be fearing. Some sort of mistake on these old soft tyres, which would deny Game of the Best a deserved and dominant victory here at Singapore. So MaxiLuca, let's see what his traction is. Oh, he's got no traction out of the final corner. Look how much traction Game of the Best has. He's going to pull alongside and he's going to take the lead then of the Singapore Grand Prix with 4 laps to go. And that, as they say, is surely going to be that. Well, let's have a look behind the battle. The tyre situation getting really desperate for Leon and CCBRAIN. Although CCBRAIN may have played himself back into a podium if they can close up to MaxiLuca just a little bit further. And Blizzard getting very close also to the back of Falcon, but Blizzard has 6 seconds of penalties. CCBRAIN will still be very pleased with his performance here. CCBRAIN looking for his 4th podium of the season. So Leon, he's in unfamiliar territory. He must have a nosebleed, he's so far up the field. Usually he's retired or he's trundling around in P12 or P13 because he's been involved in too many incidents. But now he has a chance, a real chance to get points. A real chance to get a podium, his first ever in Psgl F1. But there's still 3.5 laps to go. It has been a real gruelling affair here in Psgl F1. We've seen some great on-track action. The closing laps then of the Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina base circuit. Oh, and CCBRAIN getting a bit of oversteer and hitting the wall slightly. No damage, but that's unbalanced him a little bit. The soft tyres are clearly reaching the end of their life here. Not far off from dropping off that proverbial cliff. Blizzard actually may have quite an advantage on Falcon in the closing laps. He's only got 16 lap old soft tyres at the moment. Leefindlay on 14 lap old ultra softs. But he's got a huge gap to Cherry, so he can really ease off Cherry. And CCBRAIN once again hitting the wall. Now, will he go for a move on Falcon? No, he still won't go for it. But this is allowing Falcon and Blizzard to get ever so slightly closer. Game of the Best starting outside the top 10. To remind ourselves on the gains. Game of the Best gaining 12 places from the start of this race. He started P13 and he's about to win this race with a textbook one-stop strategy. It reminds me of when Betrayer won a F3 race here in F1 2016. More or less the same strategy in terms of starting outside the top 10 and doing a, sort of the simple one-stop strategy, but making it work so well. If Jim's watching this, hopefully he will get that reference or remember. He must have raced about 1,000 races in Psgl by now, surely. And as Demon says, lucky 13 for Game of the Best. Still got 3 laps to go though. CCBRAIN, oh, big oversteer at the back of the car. These tyres look finished. MaxiLuca 2.5 seconds ahead now. So Leon's actually on course for P2 now. He's within that 3-second window, and I don't think he's got any penalties himself. Just hold it together, Leon. You're not far off. Even if you don't score in the final 2 races, you've got everything you need here. Oh, he taps the wall slightly. You don't have to push. I don't think CCBRAIN's got anything left. He's still got the DRS zone, but he hasn't made any attempt to make a dive throughout the race. So maybe he's just biding his time. Maybe he's hoping Leon catches Maxi and they get tangled. Penultimate lap then of this Singapore Grand Prix. We are closing in on 2 hours on the broadcast. Less than 5 minutes away from 2 hours broadcast here. I think this is the longest stream I've ever had on this channel in terms of Psgl F1. But what a watch it's been. I mean, we had to wait a while, didn't we? Delayed start because of the connection issues. It is a shame we were missing Lewis and a couple of other drivers, but we went with the majority, and I'm glad in a way we did. To answer Lewis's question, I don't think Game of the Best has a penalty at all. I think it's been a more or less flawless drive from the multiple F2 champion and Psgl F1 runner-up from season 18. Blizzard has finally caught Falcon, so I might have a quick look at that. It's Game of the Best then, prepares to start the final lap here at the Marina Bay circuit. And he's in an absolute class of his own, number 62 in the Williams Mercedes car. Let's have a look at CCBRAIN. Can he make one final attempt to get past Leon? Leon only has one more lap before he finishes on the podium here. I don't think he's got any penalties. Leon definitely, Brain definitely does. I know that. What about Blizzard? Can Blizzard gain an extra place? I doubt it, because he's got 6 seconds of penalties. He can at least get past Falcon on track. So it's going to be P5 once again. Oh, and striking the barrier again. Falcon getting away with it. Yeah, CCBRAIN's not close enough to make a move. What about Blizzard? Blizzard, no, he's not close enough. He's got better tyres. Can he use them in the final part of this lap? It could be quite a while before these guys finish. Sambamkid's 54 seconds. He might be lapped, to be fair. So here comes Game of the Best. Round turn 13 for the last time. The hardest part of the track, arguably, has been done. CCBRAIN still in vain trying to chase down. And look at that! Down the inside goes Blizzard up to P5. Dive at the hairpin. Shame we didn't see that. It's like Falcon not very happy about that. There comes Game of the Best. Through the final section of corners. What a drive. One of the greatest drives we've ever seen in Psgl F1. From 13th, Game of the Best will take the checkered flag and win in Singapore as the fireworks light up the night sky. What a drive from Game of the Best. Absolutely brilliant. MaxiLuca takes second. Where's Leon going to finish? Leon will finish in P2. His first podium and points of the season. What a magnificent performance. And MaxiLuca actually took the final podium position. But, well, what a result for Leon, which will put a smile on every fan watching. And you can see the fireworks around the Ferris wheel. He'll be jumping around at the moment with delight. He's finally ended his points drought with a magnificent drive for Renault. As CCBRAIN takes 4th, Falcon 5th, Blizzard a disappointing 6th, but probably the best he could do given the disadvantage the pad users have here because of the tyre issues. So we're just waiting for quite a while. Leefindlay will pick up a decent P8, and Cherry2Pie will pick up his first point since returning to Psgl F1. And Leefindlay's actually going to do some donuts over the line for us. Delightful. Where is Cherry2Pie? Well, Cherry2Pie is actually nowhere near the end of the lap. So, hey, why not? So a bit Leefindlay finding, as ever, the great entertainer of Psgl F1. Let's have a look at Game of the Best then. On board with Game of the Best. What a drive from him. Absolutely magnificent performance from the Williams driver. Started P13 on a street circuit. Didn't look like it was going to happen for him, but in the end, he takes his second win of the season. Too little, too late for the championship, you would think, but he has reminded everybody what he can do. Here we go, the podium. It's a very happy podium, a very different looking podium to what we've seen recently. Game of the Best on the top spot, receiving the trophy. Leon in second, MaxiLuca in third. It's a great podium to see. And well, unbelievable action here at Singapore tonight. We had to wait a long time for it to get going, but in the midfield especially, great stuff. But yeah, this broadcast nearly 2 hours long here, and we'll just confirm the final race results as we are just about to hit the 2 hour mark here. Yeah, thanks for the experience points, definitely needed that. So game of the best takes the race victory with a flawless performance. It has to be said, Leon as well, no penalties for the top two. Magnificent from the top two. MaxiLuca got the strategy right from P4 for a podium. CCBRAIN, he'll be slightly disappointed to not get on the podium with P4 thanks to that penalty. Falcon in 5th, Blizzard in 6th with a good damage limitation job today. AMS in 7th, Leefindlay in 8th, Cherry2Pie in 9th and Sambamkid in 10th. And then Michemery, Psgl, Ashbest, Abiodun, Liquidblocks all retiring from the race. Well, I have to say that was a really good race once it started, and well, brilliant drives from some of the drivers here this evening. So I have to thank everyone for watching. You've stuck with us. A grueling endurance race it felt like at times here at the Marina based circuit. Well, we will see you next week for a race which I'm sure will not feel quite as long as that. So thanks for watching and see you next time.